Explanation of Introduction to Managerial Economics. 1. What is managerial economics? Managerial economics applies economic principles to solve business problems and help in decision-making. It blends economics with business practices to focus on profit maximization and resource management. Key definition. According to Spencer and Siegelman, it integrates economic theory with business practice for decision-making and planning. Simpler words, it's about using economics to make smart business decisions. Example, a company uses demand and supply concepts to decide how many products to produce. 2. Nature of managerial economics. Managerial economics has several characteristics that define its scope. 1. Microeconomic in nature. Focuses on individuals or small groups like firms or people. Example, a bakery analyzes its costs and profits, not the entire market. 2. Pragmatic. It's practical and focuses on real-world business problems instead of abstract theories. Example, a business evaluates the impact of price changes on sales rather than discussing theoretical pricing models. 3. Related to normative economics. Normative economics decides what should happen, unlike positive economics, which explains what is. Example, setting a fair price for a product is normative. Analyzing current prices is positive. 4. Conceptual in nature, based on established economic theories. Example, using supply and demand principles to set prices. 5. Utilizes some macroeconomic theories. Includes national-level factors like inflation and GDP that indirectly affect firms. Example, an increase in inflation may lead a company to increase prices. 6. Problem-solving. Analyzes and solves business problems for optimal solutions. Example, deciding how to minimize production costs. 7. Deals with the application of economics, uses economic theories like demand analysis, production analysis, and market analysis. Examples, demand analysis, how customers respond to price changes. Production analysis, how to efficiently use resources. Market analysis, how competition affects pricing. 8. Allocation of resources, ensures proper use of resources like raw materials, labor, and finances. Example, deciding how much money to invest in marketing versus production. 9. Interdisciplinary, combines knowledge from multiple fields like management, psychology, and statistics. Example, using psychology to understand customer behavior. Key points to remember. Definition. Managerial economics equals economics applied to business decisions. Focus, solving real-world business problems. Nature, microeconomic, practical, problem-solving, interdisciplinary. Demand analysis, production analysis, resource allocation. Would you like me to break down any specific topic? Scope of managerial economics. 1. What is the scope of managerial economics? The scope refers to the areas where managerial economics is applied to solve business problems and make decisions. Below are the key areas. 1. Demand analysis and forecasting, meaning understanding customer demand for a product and predicting future sales. Why important? Helps in planning production, allocating resources, and increasing profits. Key focus, demand determinants, factors that affect demand. Demand forecasting, predicting future demand. Example, a car company studies past sales trends and predicts higher demand for electric cars, so it plans to produce more of them. Start 2, cost and production analysis, meaning analyzing costs and production levels to make decisions about resource usage and pricing. Why important? Helps in cost control and understanding how production size affects costs, economies of scale. Key focus, cost-output relationships, economies and diseconomies of scale. Example, a factory finds that producing 1,000 units is cheaper per unit than producing 500 units because fixed costs are spread over more units. 3. Pricing decisions, policies, and practices, meaning deciding how much to charge for products or services. Why important? Pricing affects profits and market competitiveness. Key focus, pricing methods, policies, and differential pricing, charging different prices for different customers or markets. Example, a software company charges businesses higher prices than individual customers for the same product. Profit management, meaning managing profits by controlling costs and increasing revenue. Why important? Profits are uncertain due to fluctuating costs and revenues, so planning is essential. Key focus, profit measurement, profit policies, and tools like break-even analysis, calculating when revenue equals costs. Example: a startup calculates how many products it must sell to cover all costs and start earning profits. 5. Capital management, meaning managing money needed to start and run a business. Why important? Capital involves large investments, so planning and control are essential. Key focus: cost of capital, rate of return, and project selection. Example: a company evaluates 2 projects and chooses the one with higher expected returns. Stir 6. Analysis of business environment, meaning studying internal within the company and external outside the company factors that affect business decisions. Why important? External factors like economic policies and market conditions significantly influence business performance. Key focus: macroeconomic factors like monetary policy, fiscal policy, and government regulations. Example: a business delays expansion due to rising interest rates set by the central bank. Shot 7. Allied disciplines, meaning using tools and techniques from other fields to make better decisions. Why important? Economic decisions often require mathematical, statistical, and accounting analysis. Key tools: linear programming to optimize outcomes, statistical techniques, and accounting principles. Example: a company uses statistical tools to analyze customer preferences and optimize production. Key points to remember: 1. Demand analysis predicts future sales and helps in resource planning. 2. Cost analysis manages costs and improves efficiency. 3. Pricing decisions ensures competitive pricing for profitability. 4. Profit management plans for uncertain profits and reduces risks. 5. Capital management manages funds and evaluates investments. Business environment analysis monitors economic and market changes. 7. Allied disciplines uses advanced tools like math and stats for decision-making. Would you like me to... Explanation of uses, significance of managerial economics. 1. Integration of economic theory and business practice, meaning managerial economics combines economic theories with real-world business practices. Why important? It helps managers apply theoretical concepts to practical situations. Example: a manager uses the theory of supply and demand to decide the price of a new product. Solution to practical business problems, meaning it helps solve real-life business issues by applying economic principles. Why important? Businesses can analyze problems using tools and techniques for better solutions. Example: if sales are declining, managerial economics suggests studying customer preferences and adjusting pricing or marketing strategies. 3. Optimum use of scarce resources, meaning it ensures the best use of limited resources like money, labor, raw materials to maximize profits. Why important? Resources are always limited, so efficiency is key. Example: a company allocates its budget carefully to balance advertising, production, and distribution. 4. Helps achieve other objectives, meaning managerial economics helps businesses achieve goals like industry leadership or market expansion. Why important? Beyond profits, firms aim to grow and stay competitive. Example: a company uses strategic pricing to capture a larger market share. 5. Facilitates overall development, meaning it aids in the overall growth of a firm by improving decision-making and efficiency. Why important? Good economic decisions lead to better performance and long-term growth. Investing in technology to reduce costs and improve productivity. Helps in making the right decisions, meaning it guides managers to understand business problems clearly and make timely decisions. Why important? Making informed decisions prevents losses and ensures business success. Example: deciding whether to enter a new market based on cost-benefit analysis. Key points to remember: 1. Combines economic theory with business practices. 2. Solves real-world business problems using economic principles. 3. Ensures efficient use of scarce resources for maximum profits. 4. Helps businesses achieve goals like market expansion and leadership. 5. Supports overall growth and development of firms. 6. Aids in timely and accurate decision-making. Would you like examples or further breakdown of limitations of managerial economics? 1. leads to monopoly in essential goods and services. Meaning, managerial economics can create monopolies, where one company controls the production and distribution of essential goods or services. Impact. Such companies may charge high prices, exploiting consumers. Example. Electricity companies or railways in some areas might be the only providers and set high prices without competition. 2. Creates oligopoly through cartels. Meaning, firms may collaborate to form a cartel, an agreement between companies to control prices or production, leading to higher prices and reduced competition. Impact. Consumers end up paying more as companies act together to maximize profits. Example, oil-producing countries forming a cartel, e.g. OPEC, to control global oil prices. Key points to remember. 1. Managerial economics can sometimes lead to monopolies, which exploit consumers. 2. It may also encourage cartels, resulting in higher prices and reduced competition. Would you like more examples or further between managerial economics and economics? Meaning, managerial economics focuses on how to allocate resources within a specific firm. Example, deciding how much raw material to buy for a company's production. Economics studies how resources are allocated across the entire society. Example, analyzing how a government should allocate its budget for health, education, and defense. Presence of principles. Managerial economics applies economic principles to solve firm-specific problems. Example, using demand forecasting to set production targets. Economics focuses on developing and explaining economic principles. Example, formulating the law of demand or supply. 3. Nature. Managerial economics, individualistic, focusing on one firm or organization. Economics, comprehensive, studying society as a whole. 4. Type of economics. Managerial economics, microeconomic in nature, deals with specific units like a firm. Example, deciding the price of a company's product. Economics includes both micro and macroeconomics, studies individuals, firms, and entire economies. Example, examining how inflation affects an entire economy. 5. Focus. Managerial economics deals only with a specific firm. Economics deals with both individual firms and entire industries. 6. Scope. Managerial economics, narrow scope, focusing on specific business problems. Example, how to minimize production costs in a company. Economics, broader scope, covering economic systems, industries, and society. Managerial economics modifies and adapts economic models to suit specific business conditions. Adjusting a pricing model to account for customer preferences in a market. Economics builds generalized models based on assumptions to understand economic behavior. Example, creating a supply and demand curve. Factors used. Managerial economics considers practical variables like firm objectives, constraints, and the business environment. Example, a manager considers raw material availability and legal restrictions when planning production. Economics focuses on theoretical assumptions and general models. Example, assumes perfect competition for simplicity in theories. 1. Managerial economics focuses on specific firms, while economics studies the entire society. 2. Managerial economics is microeconomic, but economics is both micro and macro. 3. Managerial economics is practical and problem-solving, whereas economics is theoretical. 4. Managerial economics has a narrow scope, while economics is comprehensive. Would you like me to simplify? Economic principles relevant to managerial decision-making. Modern businesses use various economic principles to make better decisions. These principles help managers allocate resources efficiently, minimize costs, and maximize profits. Let's break them down in simple terms. 1. Opportunity cost principle. Meaning, opportunity cost is the benefit you give up when you choose one option over another. Example, a company has 1 lakh. If it invests in new machinery, it cannot use the same money for marketing. The opportunity cost is the lost benefits from marketing. Key takeaway, always compare what you gain and lose when making a decision. 2. Incremental principle. Meaning, incremental changes refer to small adjustments in cost or revenue when making a decision. Managers should only make changes if the additional benefits outweigh the additional costs. Example: if producing 100 extra units increases total cost by 5,000 but increases revenue by 10,000, the company should produce the extra units. Key takeaway: focus on the additional incremental cost and revenue when making decisions. Nash 3. Marginal principle. Meaning: marginal analysis examines the extra benefit, marginal benefit versus extra cost, marginal cost of a decision. Example: a restaurant considers hiring one more chef. If the extra chef increases profits more than the cost of hiring, it's a good decision. Key takeaway: a business should continue an activity as long as the marginal benefit is greater than the marginal cost. Nash 4. Time perspective principle. Meaning: decisions should be analyzed based on their short-term and long-term effects. Example: a company investing in employee training may have high short-term costs but will gain higher productivity and profits in the long run. Key takeaway: balance short-term gains with long-term growth. Scarcity principle. Meaning: resources like money, time, and raw materials are limited, so they must be used wisely. Example: a company with a limited budget must decide whether to invest in advertising or product development. Key takeaway: make the best use of limited resources to maximize profits. 6. Discounting principle. Meaning: the value of money decreases over time due to inflation and other factors. A rupee today is worth more than a rupee in the future. Example: if a company receives 10,000 today, it can invest it and earn interest, making it more valuable than receiving 10,000 5 years later. Key takeaway: always consider the present value of future earnings and expenses. 7. Equimarginal principle. Meaning: resources should be allocated where they give the highest return. Example: a company should invest 1 lakh in marketing, production, or R&D based on which area gives the highest profit. Key takeaway: distribute resources where they generate the highest marginal benefit. 8. Principle of risk and uncertainty. Meaning: business decisions involve risks, so managers must analyze potential uncertainties before making choices. Example: a company launching a new product should study market demand and competition to reduce risk. Key takeaway: consider risks and plan strategies to minimize losses. Key points to remember. 1. Opportunity cost. Consider what you give up when choosing one option. 2. Incremental principle. Focus on additional costs and benefits. 3. Marginal principle. Continue as long as marginal benefit, marginal cost. 4. Time perspective. Think about both short-term and long-term effects. 5. Scarcity principle. Use limited resources wisely. 6. Discounting principle. Money now is more valuable than money later. 7. Equimarginal principle. Allocate resources where they bring the highest returns. 8. Risk and uncertainty. Analyze risks before making decisions. Opportunity cost principle. What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the benefit you give up when choosing one option over another. It measures what you lose by not selecting the next best alternative. For example, if you have 1,000 and you decide to buy a book instead of investing it in a mutual fund, the opportunity cost is the interest you could have earned from that investment. Examples of opportunity cost. 1. Investing in a business versus other ventures. If you use your savings to start a business instead of investing in stocks, the opportunity cost is the interest or returns you could have earned from stocks. 2. Time as opportunity cost. If an entrepreneur spends time running his own business instead of working a high-paying job, his opportunity cost is the salary he could have earned in that job. 3. Production choices. A company has a machine that can produce either 10 units of product X or 20 units of product Y. If the company decides to produce product X, the opportunity cost is the 20 units of product Y that could have been made instead. Formula example: if 1 unit of X equals 2 units of Y, then the opportunity cost of producing 1 unit of X is 2 units of Y. 4. Machinery with no alternative use. If a machine cannot be used for anything else, its opportunity cost is 0, because there is no sacrifice involved. 5. Holding cash instead of investing. If you keep 1,000 as cash instead of investing in a mutual fund that gives 8% interest, The opportunity cost is 80, 8% of 1,000. Key points to remember. Opportunity cost equals benefit lost from the next best alternative. It applies to money, time, resources, and production choices. If there's no sacrifice, opportunity cost is 0. It helps in making better economic decisions. What is the incremental principle? The incremental principle is about understanding how small changes in business decisions affect costs and revenues. It helps managers compare different options and choose the most profitable one. For example, if a company increases the price of a product, will the extra revenue be more than the extra cost? If yes, it's a good decision. Key concepts in incremental analysis. 1. Incremental cost. The extra cost a company incurs when making a decision. Example, a company decides to produce an additional 100 units of a product. The extra cost of materials, labor, and utilities is the incremental cost. 2. Incremental revenue. The extra revenue a company earns from making a decision. Example, if a company increases the price of a product, the extra money earned is the incremental revenue. When is a decision profitable? A business decision is good if the increase in revenue is more than the increase in cost. Some costs decrease more than other costs increase. Some resources increase in value more than others decrease. Costs are reduced without reducing revenue. How is the incremental principle used? 1. Short-term profit maximization. Businesses sometimes accept orders below full cost to increase profits in the short run. Example, a hotel with empty rooms may offer discounts. The incremental revenue, room booking, is higher than the incremental cost, cleaning, electricity, etc., so it's a good decision. 2. Rejecting orders below full cost can be a mistake. If a company refuses to sell below full cost, it may miss out on extra profit. Example, a factory that rejects an order below normal price might lose an opportunity to cover some fixed costs and make extra revenue. Key points to remember. Incremental cost equals extra cost due to a decision. Incremental revenue equals extra revenue from a decision. A decision is profitable if revenue increases more than costs. In some cases, accepting lower prices can still increase profits. Principle. What is the marginal principle? The marginal principle, or marginalism, is about analyzing the effect of small changes in resources, production, or investment on output and revenue. Key idea. Managers should focus on whether using one more unit of a resource, labor, machine, money, etc., will lead to more benefit than cost. For example, should a company hire one more worker? Check if the extra worker increases production enough to justify their salary. Should a business invest more money in advertising? Check if the extra investment leads to more sales and profit. Key concepts in marginal analysis. 1. Marginal cost, MC. The extra cost of producing one more unit of a product. Example, a factory produces 100 units of a product at a cost of 5,000. If producing 101 units increases the total cost to 5,050, then marginal cost equals 50. 2. Marginal revenue, the extra revenue earned by selling one more unit of a product. Example, if selling 100 units earns 10,000 and selling 101 units earns 10,080, then marginal revenue equals 80. How is the marginal principle used? Decision-making in production. If marginal revenue, MR, marginal cost, MC, producing more is profitable. If MR, MC, stop producing more as it leads to losses. Investment decisions. A company should invest in new projects only if the additional return, marginal benefit, is higher than the additional cost, marginal cost. Resource utilization. Businesses should ensure every extra worker, machine, or investment is used efficiently to maximize output. Challenges in applying marginalism. Real-world complications. It is difficult to measure small changes accurately. Sometimes changes happen in large amounts, chunk changes, not in small units. Example, a company can't hire half a worker, it has to hire a full worker, which may affect costs differently. Key points to remember. Marginal analysis helps in making better decisions on production, hiring, and investment. Compare marginal cost, MC, with marginal revenue. Continue production if MR, MC. Businesses must use every additional resource wisely to maximize profits. Real-world challenges make it harder to apply marginal concepts exactly. Difference between marginal and incremental concept. 1. Meaning. Marginal concept focuses on one single variable at a time. Example, if you increase the production of a factory by 1 unit, how does revenue change? Incremental concept looks at multiple variables together and their combined effect. Example, if a company launches a new product, how will it affect sales, costs, and profits overall? Nature. Marginal concept, more specific, focuses on small changes. Incremental concept, broader, considers bigger changes in business decisions. 3. Interrelation. All marginal concepts are also incremental, because small changes are part of big changes. But not all incremental concepts are marginal, since incremental decisions may involve multiple factors. 4. How they are expressed. Marginal concept measures small unit changes, e.g., cost or revenue change per extra unit. Incremental concept measures bulk changes, e.g., total change when expanding production significantly. Example to understand the difference. Marginal concept example. A bakery produces 100 cakes per day. If making one more cake increases the cost by 20 and revenue by 30, we analyze marginal cost, 20, versus marginal revenue, 30. Incremental concept example. The bakery adds a new product line, cupcakes. Now we consider extra cost for ingredients, labor, and equipment, increase in total revenue, possible loss in cake sales if customers shift to cupcakes. Key points to remember. Marginal, small changes. Incremental, big business decisions. Marginal focuses on one factor, e.g. cost per unit. Incremental looks at multiple factors, e.g. total investment and revenue impact. Marginal analysis helps in short-term decisions. Incremental analysis is useful for strategic planning. Concept of discounting principle. 1. Meaning of discounting. Discounting means finding out how much a future amount of money is worth today. Since money loses value over time due to inflation and interest rates, 1,000 today is worth more than 1,000 in the future. 2. Why is discounting important? Helps in making investment decisions. Helps businesses compare future cash flows to decide if an investment is profitable today. 3. Real-life examples. Example 1. Home loan. If you take a home loan, you promise to pay monthly EMIs for the next 20 years. The bank calculates the present value of those future payments to decide how much loan to give you today. Example 2. Insurance settlement. If a person is injured in an accident and receives $4,000 per month for life, the insurance company calculates the present value of this amount before deciding the total compensation. 4. Formula for discounting. FV equals PV1 plus RN, where FV equals future value, money in the future. P equals present value, how much that money is worth today. R equals interest rate, discount rate, number of years. 5. Example calculation. Suppose you will receive 1,000 after 1 year and the interest rate is 5%. Using the formula, PV equal frac 1,000, 1 plus 0.05 square 1, PV equal frac 1,000, 1.05 equals 952.38. So if you know 1 year is 152.38 cents today. Key points to remember. Money loses value over time due to inflation and interest. Discounting helps businesses make financial decisions based on future cash flows. Formula FV equals PV 1 plus R squared N helps calculate the present value of future money. Would you like another example or further clarification? Concept of time perspective principle. 1. Meaning of time perspective. When making business decisions, a firm must consider both short-run effects, immediate impact on costs and revenues, long-run effects, how the decision affects future profits, growth, and sustainability. A good decision balances both short-term and long-term goals. 2. Short-run versus long-run. Short-run, a period where only some resources, like labor and raw materials, can be changed. Fixed factors, like machinery, factory size, remain constant. Long-run, a period where all resources, labor, machinery, factory, etc., can be adjusted. Example, accepting a low-priced order. Scenario, a company has extra production capacity and receives an order for 3,000 units at 76 per unit, total the 18,000. Short-run view. The incremental cost per unit is 75, so the company earns 1 profit per unit, total 3,000. Long-run view. If the company accepts too many low-price orders, it may set a bad precedent and struggle to charge higher prices later. If the company rejects the order, it loses short-term profit but maintains its long-term pricing power. Decision tip: the company should balance short-run gains with long-term strategy. Key points to remember. Decisions must consider both short-run and long-run effects. Short-run focuses on immediate costs and revenues. Long-run considers future profits, market positioning, and sustainability. Balance is necessary. A business should not sacrifice long-term success for short-term gains. Would you like more real-world examples? Concept of equimarginal principle. 1. Meaning of equimarginal principle. The equimarginal principle helps businesses allocate resources efficiently among different activities to maximize total output or profit. Key idea: a company should distribute resources like labor, capital, or raw materials so that the last unit used gives equal value, marginal product, in all activities. 2. Explanation with example. Scenario: a company has limited workers and operates in 3 departments A, B, and C. Current situation: the value of marginal product of labor VMP in A equals 30, the VMP in B equals 40. Decision: since B gives more value than A, the company should shift workers from A to B until their values become equal. Final condition: when VMPA equals VMPB equals VMPC, the firm achieves optimal allocation. Formula representation: VMPLA equals VMPLB equals VALC, where necessity value of marginal product, L equals labor, A, B, C equals different activities. Key points to remember. Resources should be distributed where they provide equal marginal value. Shifting resources from lower VMP to higher VMP increases overall efficiency. Optimum allocation happens when the marginal value is the same in all activities. Would you like a real world example of equimarginal principle? Example: restaurant resource allocation. Imagine you own a restaurant that serves 3 types of food. 1. Pizza, activity A. 2. Burgers, activity B. 3. Pasta, activity C. You have 10 chefs, and you need to decide how to assign them to maximize total revenue. Current situation: VMP of chefs in each activity. Pizza, 5,000 per chef. Burgers, 7,000 per chef. Pasta, 6,000 per chef. Decision based on equimarginal principle. Since burgers, 7,000, pizza, 5,000, you should move chefs from pizza to burgers. Similarly, since pasta, 6,000, is greater than pizza, 5,000, you should move chefs from pizza to pasta. Keep shifting chefs until the VMP is equal across all activities. Final allocation after optimization. Now, each chef in pizza, burgers, and pasta generates 6,500, meaning resources are optimally allocated. How businesses use the equimarginal principle. Manufacturing. A company reallocates workers from a low-profit product line to a high-profit one. Marketing budget. A company shifts money from less effective ads to high-performing ads. Investment decisions. A firm reallocates funds from low-return projects to high-return projects. Key takeaway: always shift resources from lower productivity areas to higher productivity areas to maximize profit. Businesses should keep reallocating until the marginal value VMP is the same in all activities. Would you like another example from a different industry? Concept of scarcity principle. 1. Meaning of scarcity. Scarcity occurs when demand for a product, service, or resource is greater than its supply. Since resources are limited, businesses and governments must make smart decisions about how to allocate them efficiently. Scarcity is a relative concept, meaning something is considered scarce only when demand exceeds supply. Examples of scarcity in business and economy. Scarcity of jobs, unemployment. If there are more job seekers than available jobs, it leads to unemployment. Scarcity of goods, inflation. If the supply of essential goods, like fuel or food, is low but demand remains high, prices increase. Scarcity of buyers, unsold stock. If a company produces more goods than people are willing to buy, it results in excess inventory. Scarcity of resources, production issues. A factory may produce fewer products due to a shortage of electricity, raw materials, or labor. Path 3. Why is the scarcity principle important for managers? Since all businesses face limited resources, money, materials, time, labor, etc., managers must decide what to produce and how much to produce. Allocate budget efficiently to maximize profit. Find ways to overcome shortages, e.g., investing in alternative resources. For example, if a company has limited budget, should it spend more on advertising or product development? The decision depends on which option gives higher returns. Key points to remember. Scarcity happens when demand is greater than supply. It affects everything: jobs, products, raw materials, and business decisions. Managers must allocate scarce resources wisely to maximize efficiency and profits. Scarcity is the root of all economic problems, both in businesses and entire economies. Would you like the principle of risk and uncertainty? 1. Meaning of risk and uncertainty. Managers face risk and uncertainty when making business decisions. They must understand these factors to make better predictions and reduce losses. Risk can be measured and predicted based on past data. Uncertainty cannot be measured because there is not enough information. Understanding risk. Risk equals measurable uncertainty. It occurs when a manager knows the possible outcomes and can estimate the probabilities. Businesses can use data, statistics, and past experiences to handle risk. Example: a company launching a new product can estimate the risk of failure by studying previous product launches and market trends. How to manage risk: insurance, market research, financial forecasting, and diversification, investing in multiple projects. 3. Understanding uncertainty. Uncertainty equals unknown future events. Occurs when managers do not know all possible outcomes and cannot assign probabilities. It happens due to unexpected market changes, political instability, or natural disasters. Example: COVID-19 pandemic. Businesses had no way to predict its impact on supply chains and consumer demand. New technology disruption. A company investing in a new technology faces uncertainty because it doesn't know if the market will accept it. How to handle uncertainty. Flexible decision-making, adaptability, scenario planning, and innovation. Key differences between risk and uncertainty. Basis, risk, uncertainty. Definition: predictable outcomes with probabilities, unknown outcomes with no probabilities. Can be measured using past data, cannot be measured. Market fluctuations, insurance risks, natural disasters, sudden government policy changes. Management, forecasting, insurance, diversification. Flexibility, innovation, contingency planning. Why is this important for managers? Every business decision involves some level of risk and uncertainty. Risk can be reduced with data and planning, but uncertainty requires flexibility. Managers should analyze risks carefully and be prepared for uncertainties to succeed in a competitive market. Key points to remember. Risk is measurable, uncertainty is not. Risk can be managed with probability analysis, but uncertainty requires adaptability. Managers must plan for both risk and uncertainty to make better decisions. Would you like more? 1. What is the production possibility curve (PPC)? The production possibility curve (PPC) is a graphical representation that shows the different combinations of two goods that an economy can produce using its available resources and technology. It helps to understand resource scarcity and opportunity cost. It is also called the Production Possibility Frontier (PPF) or Transformation Curve. 2. Key concepts of scarcity of resources. Resources, like labor, capital, raw materials, are limited, so producing more of one good reduces the production of another. 2. Opportunity cost. If a company increases production of one product, it must reduce production of another product because resources are limited. 3. Efficient versus inefficient use of resources. If production is on the PPC curve, resources are fully utilized. If production is inside the PPC curve, resources are underutilized. Waste of resources. 3. Example to understand PPC. Imagine an economy that produces only two goods, cars and laptops. Production choice, number of cars, number of laptops. A, 100, 0. B, 80, 10. C, 50, 30. D, 20, 50. E, 0, 60. If the economy wants to produce more laptops, it has to produce fewer cars. This trade-off is called opportunity cost. If the economy is operating inside the PPC, it means some resources are wasted or inefficiently used. 4. Why is PPC important? Shows the problem of resource scarcity. Helps in decision-making. Should a country focus on industrial goods, cars or technology, laptops? Explains opportunity cost. Producing one good means sacrificing another. Indicates economic efficiency. Full production happens only on the PPC. Key points to remember. PPC shows the maximum production possible with given resources. Opportunity cost is the trade-off between two goods. Points on PPC equals efficient use of resources. Points inside PPC, underutilization of resources. PPC helps businesses and governments make production decisions. Would you like a graph? Assumptions of Production Possibility Curve, PPC. The Production Possibility Curve, PPC, is based on certain assumptions to simplify the analysis of production trade-offs. These assumptions help in understanding how resources are allocated between two goods. 1. Resources are used for producing only two goods. The economy only produces two goods, e.g. cars and laptops. Resources are allocated either fully to one good or divided between both. Example, a factory can produce only shirts and trousers. It cannot produce food items. #2. Fixed resources, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. The total amount of land, workers, machines, and entrepreneurs remains constant. Example, if a country has 100 workers, that number does not change during the analysis. 3. No change in knowledge or production techniques. The economy does not discover new production methods or gain new knowledge. Example, if a company produces 10 cars per day, it cannot suddenly invent a faster method to make 15 cars per day. 4. Optimum utilization of resources. All resources are used efficiently, meaning there is no wastage. Example, if a farm has 10 acres of land, all 10 acres are used for farming and none is left unused. 5. No technological advancement in the short run. In the short run, technology remains the same, so output cannot increase unless resources are shifted. Example, a bakery using manual ovens cannot suddenly switch to automated ovens in the short run. 6. No increase in resources in the short run. The economy cannot increase land, labor, or capital immediately. Example, a country cannot discover new land or hire more workers overnight to increase production. Key points to remember. PPC assumes only two goods are produced. Total resources, land, labor, capital, remain constant. Technology and knowledge do not improve in the short run. Resources are used efficiently, no wastage. Output can only increase if resources are shifted between goods. Would you like a practical business diagrammatic representation of the Production Possibility Curve, PPC? 1. What is the Production Possibility Curve, PPC? The Production Possibility Curve, PPC, is a graphical representation that shows the different combinations of two goods that an economy can produce using limited resources and technology. It is based on the Production Possibility Schedule, PPS, which is a table listing the possible production combinations of two goods. The PPC helps in understanding trade-offs, opportunity cost, efficiency, and scarcity of resources. Ask 2. Understanding PPC with an example. Imagine a country that can produce two goods. 1. Pulses in tons. 2. Shirts in bales. The Production Possibility Schedule provides different combinations of pulses and shirts that can be produced. Pulses, shirts, bales. At point A, A40, B38, 1, C33, 2, D25, 3, E15, 4, F05. Interpretation. If all resources are used to produce pulses, the economy can produce 40 tons of pulses, but 0 shirts. At point F, if all resources are used to produce shirts, the economy can produce 5 bales of shirts, but 0 pulses. Between A and F, the economy produces a mix of both goods, but producing more of one means producing less of the other due to scarcity of resources. #D3. Graphical representation of PPC. The x-axis represents shirts bales. The y-axis represents pulses tons. When we plot the combinations A, B, C, E, and F on the graph and join them, we get a production possibility curve, PPC4. Key points on the PPC graph. Efficient production. Points on PPC A, B, C. If the economy is operating on the curve, it is using all available resources efficiently. Underutilization of resources, point H inside PPC. If the economy is producing inside the curve, it means resources are not fully utilized. Example, a factory is operating at half capacity, leading to waste of resources. Unachievable production, point G outside PPC. A point outside the curve is currently not possible because the economy does not have enough resources. Example, if a country tries to produce 50 tons of pulses and 5 bales of shirts, it cannot do so unless new resources, labor, capital, technology, are added. 5. Importance of PPC shows the problem of scarcity. Resources are limited, so choices must be made. Explains opportunity cost. Producing more of one good means sacrificing another. Indicates efficiency. Operating on the PPC means full use of resources, while operating inside the PPC means resources are wasted. Helps in economic planning. Governments and businesses can decide which goods to prioritize. Key points to remember. PPC is a graph that shows different production possibilities using limited resources. It is based on the Production Possibility Schedule, PPS, which lists production combinations. Points on PPC equals efficient use of resources. Points inside PPC equals underutilization of resources, waste. Points beyond PPC, impossible with current resources. PPC helps in economic decision-making by highlighting trade-offs and opportunity costs. Would you like me to create a simple PPC diagram for better understanding? Here is a production possibility curve PPC diagram. Curve, blue line, represents the maximum possible production combinations of pulses, y-axis, and shirts, x-axis, using available resources. Points A to F, red labels, show different production possibilities where resources are fully utilized. Point G, greens, outside the PPC, meaning it is unachievable with current resources. Point H, orange, lies inside the PPC, indicating underutilization of resources, wastage. Would you like me to explain? Shifts in the production possibility curve PPC. The production possibility curve can shift due to changes in resources, technology, or efficiency. These shifts represent changes in an economy's ability to produce goods and services. 1. Outward shift. Economic growth. PPC moves right. Why does it happen? Better technology, new innovations improve production efficiency. More resources, increase in labor, capital or raw materials. Higher productivity, skilled workforce, and better training. Example, if a country discovers new oil reserves or develops advanced machinery, its ability to produce both consumer and capital goods increases. As a result, the PPC shifts outward, meaning the economy can now produce more goods than before. 2. Inward shift, economic decline, PPC moves left. Why does it happen? Natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, or pandemics reduce production capacity. War or political instability, destruction of industries and migration of workers. Resource depletion, reduction in oil, coal, or minerals affects production. Example, if a country faces a severe recession, many businesses shut down, reducing overall production. This causes the PPC to shift inward, meaning the economy can now produce fewer goods than before. 3. Movement along the PPC, efficient versus inefficient production. If production moves along the PPC, it means the economy is reallocating resources between two goods, but still using all available resources efficiently. If production moves inside the PPC, it means there is underutilization of resources, e.g. unemployment or factory shutdowns. Diagram explanation, Figure 1.3, Shift in PPC. PPC1 original curve represents the economy's current production capacity. PPC2, shifted outward, shows economic growth, meaning the economy can produce more consumer and capital goods. C1, C2, C3, different points showing how production possibilities increase with better resources and technology. Key points to remember. PPC shifts outward when an economy grows due to better technology, more resources, and higher productivity. PPC shifts inward when an economy declines due to disasters, wars, or resource depletion. Movement along the PPC happens when resources are reallocated between two goods. Would you like a diagram of the production possibility curve? The production possibility curve, PPC, is a crucial tool in economics that helps in understanding resource allocation, economic growth, and technological advancements. 1. Helps in technological improvement. PPC highlights the need for better technology to increase production efficiency. Example, a company investing in automation can produce more goods with the same resources, shifting the PPC outward. Supports economic growth. PPC helps in analyzing the potential for economic expansion. Example, if a country invests in education and infrastructure, it can boost productivity, leading to higher GDP and better living standards. And 3, ensures efficient resource management. PPC shows how to use limited resources wisely to maximize production. A government can decide whether to allocate more resources to healthcare or defense based on economic priorities. 4. Assists in the formation of natural resources. PPC helps in strategic planning for using natural resources like shale gas, coal, and oil. Example, a country investing in shale gas extraction can increase energy production without overusing existing resources. 5. Encourages innovation in production. PPC motivates businesses to adopt new technologies and improve production methods. Example, the shift from manual assembly lines to robotic automation in the automobile industry increased efficiency and lowered costs. Key points to remember. PPC helps in technological progress by encouraging better production methods. It promotes economic growth by showing how an economy can expand. PPC guides resource allocation to ensure efficiency. It helps in the strategic use of natural resources, encourages innovation in business and industries. Would you like a practical business case study? Limitations of the production possibility curve. Although the production possibility curve is a useful economic tool, it has several limitations that reduce its practical applicability. 1. Hypothetical and static. PPC is a theoretical concept that assumes fixed resources and technology. In reality, economies are dynamic and constantly evolving. Example, new technology can improve production, but PPC assumes technology remains constant. 2. No practical use. PPC is useful for understanding economic concepts, but cannot be directly applied in real-world decision-making. Example, businesses and governments use complex economic models, not PPC, for production planning. 3. Irrelevant assumptions. PPC is based on neoclassical economic assumptions, which many modern economists do not consider realistic. Example, it assumes full employment of resources, but in reality, unemployment and inefficiencies exist. 4. No analytical tool to measure PPC. There is no mathematical formula to precisely measure PPC for a country or business. Example, countries use GDP and production data instead of PPC for economic analysis. 5. Ignores environmental consequences. PPC focuses on maximizing production, but it does not consider pollution, deforestation, or resource depletion. Example, increasing production in industries like mining or oil extraction can harm the environment, which PPC does not account for. Key points to remember. PPC is a theoretical model and not fully applicable in real-world scenarios. It assumes constant technology and full employment, which is unrealistic. No tool exists to measure PPC accurately for businesses or economies. Environmental impact is ignored, making it incomplete for modern economic planning. Would you like a comparison of PPC with real-world economic models? A firm. A firm is an organization that combines various resources to produce goods and services for sale. It transforms inputs, factors of production, into outputs, saleable goods or services. 1. Factors of production in a firm. Firms use 4 main resources known as factors of production. Factor of production, type remuneration payment received. Land, natural resources, land, forests, rivers. Rent, labor, human effort, workers, employees. Wages, capital, machines, tools, money used in production. Interest, entrepreneur, business owner or manager. Profit, example, a clothing factory hires workers, labor, uses machines, capital, and operates on land to produce garments, and the owner, entrepreneur, earns profits. 2. Definitions of a firm. Professor S.E. Lansbury. A firm is an organization that produces and sells goods with the goal of maximizing profits. Professor R.L. Miller. A firm is an organization that buys and hires resources and sells goods and services. 3. Types of firms. A. Based on investment and size. Small firms, limited production, low investment, example, local bakery. Medium firms, moderate production and investment, example, regional textile company. Large firms, high production, large capital investment, example, Tata, Reliance. B. Based on ownership. Proprietorship, owned by one person, example, small shop. Partnership, owned by 2 or more people, example, law firms. Corporation, owned by shareholders, example, Infosys, Apple. C. Based on government participation. Public sector, owned by government, example, Indian Railways. Private sector, owned by individuals or companies, example, Tata Motors. Joint sector, partnership between government and private entities, example, Maruti Suzuki. Stat 4. Business versus non-business firms. Business firms aim to earn profits, example, Apple, Amazon. Non-business firms provide services without profit motive, example, universities, libraries, hospitals. Key points to remember. A firm is an organization that produces and sells goods, services. 4 factors of production: land, rent, labor, wages, capital, interest, entrepreneur, profit. Firms can be small, medium, large, proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or public, private, joint sector. Business firms aim for profit, while non-business firms operate for public service. Would you like a comparison chart for better understanding? Rationale for the firm, why firms exist. Firms exist because they serve a social and economic purpose. They produce goods and services efficiently, manage transactions, and contribute to economic growth. 1. Concept of transaction costs, what it means. Market transactions, buying and selling between individuals or businesses, involve time, effort, and costs for negotiation. Why firms help. Firms reduce these costs by organizing production within a single entity. Example, if a company hires workers on short-term contracts, it must negotiate new terms every time. Instead, by offering long-term jobs, it saves transaction costs and improves efficiency. 2. Government interference. What it means. Governments regulate businesses with taxes, price controls, and trade restrictions. Why firms help. By internalizing transactions, doing business within the firm instead of outside, firms can avoid extra costs. Example, a car manufacturer that buys tires from an outside supplier may have to pay sales tax. Instead, if the company produces its own tires, it avoids those extra costs. 3. Diminishing returns to management. Why firms don't grow forever. What it means. While larger firms can be more efficient, growing too big can increase costs. Why? Higher management costs. The cost of handling internal transactions rises as firms expand. Limited managerial skill. A single manager cannot efficiently control a huge organization. Example, a small startup is easy to manage, but if it grows into a giant company, managing employees, production, and customers becomes complex and costly. To solve this, companies create profit centers, small independent units within the firm. 4. Public good of information. What it means. In modern economies, information is a valuable asset. However, once information is shared, it can be used by many people without reducing its value. Why firms help. Firms protect and manage information to ensure proper value for innovation. Example, a company that invents new software must protect it with patents to prevent others from copying it. Without firms, individuals would have no incentive to invest in research since others could steal their ideas for free. Key points to remember. Firms reduce transaction costs by organizing production internally. They help avoid government regulations like taxes and price controls. Firms don't grow infinitely because management costs and inefficiencies increase. Firms protect valuable information and encourage innovation. Would you like a real-world case study to understand the roles of the firm in the economy? Firms play a crucial role in an economy by using resources, inputs, to produce goods and services, outputs. They contribute to employment, innovation, investment, and overall economic growth. 1. Firms employ different factors of production. Firms hire workers, labor, and use land, capital, and entrepreneurship to produce goods and services. When firms pay wages to workers, it creates income, which households spend on goods and services, contributing to the circular flow of income. Example, a car manufacturing company employs thousands of workers, pays them salaries, and these workers spend their earnings on food, clothing, and other goods, helping other businesses grow. 2. Developing new products. Firms constantly innovate and develop new products to attract consumers and increase profits. They respond to consumer demand and sometimes create products that consumers didn't even know they needed. Example, Apple developed the iPod and iPhone, replacing older technologies like CD players. Food delivery apps, Zomato, Swiggy, were created to meet the demand for convenient dining. 3. Investing in capital and new technology. Firms invest in better machines, equipment, and software to increase productivity and reduce costs. This leads to higher efficiency, lower prices, and better living standards. Example, Tesla's investment in electric cars reduced reliance on fossil fuels. Amazon's use of AI and automation improved delivery speed and efficiency. 4. Providing goods and services for consumers. Firms specialize in different industries, allowing people to focus on specific jobs rather than producing everything themselves. Labor-saving products help people save time and increase workforce participation. Example, washing machines and vacuum cleaners saved household time, allowing more women to enter the workforce. Online education platforms help people learn new skills without physically attending classes. 5. The principle of creative destruction. Economist Joseph Schumpeter introduced the concept of creative destruction, where inefficient firms close down and resources are reallocated to better industries. This process leads to innovation, better products, and economic growth. Example, Kodak failed to innovate with digital cameras, leading to its decline, while companies like Canon and Sony flourished. Blockbuster DVD rental collapsed when Netflix introduced online streaming. Key points to remember. Firms create jobs and pay wages, driving economic activity. They innovate and introduce new products to meet consumer needs. Investment in capital and technology leads to higher efficiency and growth. Firms provide specialized goods and services, improving productivity. Creative destruction ensures inefficient firms close and resources move to better uses. Would you like further clarification on any point? These objectives of a business firm. In managerial economics, a firm is managed by an entrepreneur who organizes resources, supervises production, and ensures that the firm meets its objectives. Different economic theories explain the main goals of a business firm. Ex 1. Profit maximization. Objective. A firm aims to maximize its profits by increasing revenue and reducing costs. Example, a smartphone company increases its product price to earn higher profits while controlling production costs. 2. Value, wealth maximization. Objective. Firms focus on increasing the overall value of the company rather than just short-term profits. Example, Tesla invests in electric vehicle technology, expecting long-term benefits instead of just focusing on immediate profits. 3. Satisfactory level of profits. Objective. Instead of maximizing profits, some firms aim for a reasonable profit while ensuring business stability and customer satisfaction. Example, family-owned businesses may prefer stable growth over high-risk profit strategies. 4. Sayert and March's behavioral theory. Objective. Firms are influenced by different groups, owners, employees, customers, and must balance multiple objectives. Example, a firm may focus on employee benefits and sustainability rather than just profit. 5. Sales maximization. Objective. Some firms aim to maximize sales revenue rather than profits, believing higher sales will lead to long-term success. Example, Amazon focuses on increasing sales by offering discounts, even if it means lower short-term profits. 6. Managerial utility maximization. Managers may take decisions that benefit themselves, high salaries, perks, bonuses, rather than maximizing firm profits. Example, a CEO expands the company globally to boost reputation rather than increasing profits. 7. Economist theory of the firm. Objective. This theory considers economic conditions, market competition, and consumer behavior in decision-making. Example, a clothing brand adjusts prices based on demand and competitor strategies. 8. Other theories objectives. Social responsibility. Firms focus on sustainability and ethical practices. Example, Tata's CSR activities. Market share growth. Firms prioritize expanding market share over immediate profits. Example, Jio offering free services initially. Customer satisfaction. Companies focus on loyalty and service quality. Example, Apple's focus on customer experience. Key points to remember. Profit maximization. Most traditional firms aim for higher profits. Wealth maximization focuses on long-term growth and shareholder value. Sales maximization prioritizes revenue growth over profit. Behavioral and managerial theories consider employee, customer, and managerial objectives. Modern firms also focus on social responsibility, sustainability, and customer satisfaction. Would you like a comparison chart summarizing these theories? Profit maximization theory. Profit maximization is the traditional economic objective of a firm, where businesses aim to maximize the difference between total revenue and total cost. This theory helps explain and predict price, output, and firm behavior in different market conditions. 1. Conditions for profit maximization. A firm maximizes its profit when marginal cost, MC, equals marginal revenue, MR. MC must be rising at the point where MC equals MR. What happens in different cases? If MC MR, the firm should increase production to earn more profit. If MC MR, the firm should reduce production to avoid losses. If MC equals MR, the firm is at maximum profit and should maintain output at this level. 2. Assumptions of profit maximization theory. 1. The primary goal of the firm is to earn maximum profit. 2. The firm is owned by an entrepreneur, not professional managers. 3. Consumer preferences remain constant over time. 4. Production techniques do not change. The firm produces only one standardized product. 6. The firm has complete knowledge of market demand and cost conditions. 7. No new competitors can enter the market in the short run. 8. Profit maximization is possible in both short run and long run. Example, a bakery calculates costs and revenue to determine the best number of cakes to produce daily. If producing 50 cakes earns the highest profit, MC equals MR, the bakery should not produce more or fewer than 50 cakes. 3. Criticisms of profit maximization theory. A. Profits are uncertain. Firms cannot always predict future revenue and costs, making profit maximization unrealistic. Example, a sudden increase in raw material prices may reduce profits unexpectedly. B. Firms lack perfect knowledge. Firms do not have complete information about costs, revenue, or competitors. Example, a company launching a new product may not accurately predict customer demand. C. Businesses don't always use MC equals MR rule. Many firms do not calculate marginal cost and marginal revenue when making decisions. Example: small businesses set prices based on competitor pricing rather than cost-revenue calculations. D. Static and unrealistic assumptions. The theory ignores dynamic factors like technological change and market trends. Example: the rise of e-commerce changed pricing strategies, which the static profit maximization model does not account for. E. Not applicable to oligopoly markets. Oligopolies, markets dominated by a few firms, do not always focus on profit maximization. Example: Coca-Cola and Pepsi compete for market share and brand loyalty, not just profits. F. Modern businesses have different goals. Firms focus on sales growth, market expansion, and social responsibility, not just profit. Example: Amazon reinvests profits to expand its business rather than maximizing short-term earnings. G. Managers-owners conflict. In large corporations, managers-employees may have different goals than owners, shareholders. Example: a CEO may prioritize company growth and job security over profit maximization for shareholders. Managers have limited predictive power. Decision-making involves risk and uncertainty, and managers may avoid risks that could maximize profit. Example: a company may not expand into a new market due to fear of failure, even if the move could be profitable. Key points to remember. Profit maximization occurs when MC equals MR and MC is rising. Assumes perfect knowledge, no market entry, and fixed consumer preferences. Criticized for being unrealistic in modern business environments. Firms also focus on sales growth, brand value, and market expansion. Oligopolies and manager-run firms do not always aim for maximum profit. Would you like a comparison table? Sales maximization theory, Baumel's model. The sales maximization theory by William J. Baumel suggests that firms focus on maximizing sales revenue rather than profits. He argued that in modern businesses, managers prioritize sales growth because it leads to higher prestige, salaries, and incentives, while still ensuring a minimum profit level. Key idea of sales maximization theory. Firms aim to maximize sales revenue instead of just profits. A minimum profit level is necessary to satisfy shareholders. Sales growth attracts investors, improves market position, and increases financial stability. Example: Amazon focused on expanding its market share by offering low prices and free shipping, even though it had low short-term profits. Over time, high sales volume led to market dominance and greater profitability. 2. Why firms focus on sales maximization. 1. Firms are highly sensitive to sales declines. Even a slight drop in sales is a concern for businesses. 2. Sales performance impacts bank credit and investor confidence. Banks lend more easily to firms with strong sales. 3. Distributors and retailers prefer popular, high sales products. If sales fall, retailers may stop stocking the product. 4. A decline in sales makes a product less attractive to consumers. 5. Sales generate revenue for paying wages, operational costs, and expansion. Higher sales lead to economies of scale. Larger production reduces per-unit costs, increasing profitability. 7. Managerial salaries and incentives are tied to sales performance. Example: Coca-Cola focuses on increasing global sales rather than just maximizing short-term profits. By maintaining strong brand recognition and advertising, it ensures long-term revenue growth. 3. Baumel's sales maximization model, graphical explanation. Profit maximization output, OQ, the level where profit is highest. Sales maximization output, OK, the level where sales revenue is highest, subject to a minimum profit constraint. At OK, the firm earns more revenue but not necessarily maximum profit. This means a sales maximizing firm will produce more than a profit maximizing firm, but may sell at a lower price. 4. Assumptions of Baumel's model. Static model, short term. Firms maximize sales revenue while maintaining minimum profit. The demand curve slopes downward, meaning lower prices increase sales. The cost curve is U-shaped. Costs first decrease, then increase. Dynamic model, long-term and advertising focused. High advertising expenses lead to increased sales. Firms compete based on brand visibility and marketing rather than price. Advertising is separate from production costs. The firm operates in an oligopoly market, few competitors. Example, McDonald's spends heavily on advertising to increase long-term sales, rather than just focusing on profit per burger. 5. Role of advertising in sales maximization. More advertising equals more sales. If demand is elastic, lowering price increases sales. If demand is inelastic, lowering price may not boost sales significantly. Example, Apple's iPhone sales grow due to high marketing spend, not just price cuts. 6. Criticisms of Baumol's sales maximization model. 1. Profit is uncertain. Firms cannot always predict future revenue and costs. 2. Not all firms focus on sales over profits. Some businesses prioritize profit growth. 3. Overproduction and excessive advertising leads to higher costs without guaranteed returns. 4. Doesn't apply to all market structures, only works in oligopolies, few competitors. 5. Ignores actual competition. Competitors may force price cuts, affecting sales. 6. Assumes demand is predictable, which is not always true. Example, BlackBerry focused on sales, but ignored changing market trends, leading to its decline. Key points to remember. Sales maximization means firms prioritize revenue growth over profit. Managers are rewarded for increasing sales, which boosts prestige and salaries. Firms set a minimum profit level but focus on maximizing sales revenue. Heavy advertising helps increase demand and long-term market share. Criticized for ignoring profit goals, assuming predictable demand, and applying mainly to oligopolies. Would you like a comparison chart between sales maximization and profit maximization for better understanding? Comparison, sales maximization versus profit maximization. Basis of comparison, sales maximization. Profit maximization, traditional model, sales maximization. Main objective, focuses on maximizing total sales revenue, focuses on maximizing total profit. Profit consideration, ensures minimum profit but does not aim for highest profit. Seeks maximum profit, total revenue, total cost. Price strategy, lower prices to increase sales volume, higher prices to maximize profit per unit. Production level, produces more output to maximize revenue, produces optimal output where MC equal to MR. Role of advertising. Heavy investment in marketing and branding to increase sales. Advertising is limited to cost-effective strategies. Market structure. Mostly applies to oligopoly markets, few competitors, applies to perfect competition and monopolies. Decision-making. Managers aim to increase sales for higher salaries and prestige. Owners and shareholders focus on profit growth. Impact on competition. Aggressive sales strategies, discounts, promotions, ads, focuses on cost control and pricing strategies. Applicability. Works well for firms seeking market expansion, Amazon, Coca-Cola. Suitable for traditional profit-driven businesses, banks, oil companies. May lead to overproduction and high costs. Assumes perfect knowledge and ignores market changes. Key takeaways. Sales maximization. Prioritizes market share and revenue growth, suitable for competitive markets. Profit maximization. Aims for highest possible earnings, common in traditional business models. Sales maximization may lead to lower profits initially, but helps in long-term brand dominance. Profit maximization focuses on efficiency, ensuring optimal pricing and production. Would you like real-world examples comparing companies using these strategies? Value, wealth, maximization theory, Maris model. Robin Maris developed the value maximization theory, which suggests that firms aim to maximize the present value of all future profits, ensuring growth and stability for both managers and shareholders. In modern firms, there is a separation of ownership and control. Shareholders, owners, want maximum profit, high dividends, and increasing share prices. Managers, executives, want growth, job security, power, and a strong reputation. Maris's view: a balance between profit maximization, shareholders' interest, and firm growth, managers' interest, leads to long-term success. 1. Difference between managers' and shareholders' goals. Managers' goals, shareholders' goals: high salaries and job security, higher profits and return on investment, increased firm size and market share. Increasing share value, status, power, and control over decisions, business growth and dividends. Risk aversion, safe expansion strategies, higher risks for higher returns. Managers focus on sustainable growth, while shareholders focus on profitability. A balance between these two ensures the firm maximizes long-term value. 2. Growth maximization versus absolute growth. Growth maximization: managers focus on steady growth in revenue, market share, and capitals over time. Absolute growth focuses on total assets and inventories, which may not always lead to stable growth. Example: Apple invests in research, advertising, and expanding markets to ensure continuous growth maximization rather than just increasing assets. 3. Constraints in value maximization. A. Managerial constraints. Rapid growth may lead to inefficiencies as new managers take time to adapt. Delays in product development due to slow research and development. Example: a fast-growing company like Tesla may struggle to train new managers and engineers, delaying product rollouts. B. Financial constraints. Fast-growing firms need large amounts of capital, which may require borrowing money. High debt increases financial risk, making it harder to maintain steady growth. If growth is too aggressive, shareholders may sell shares, making the firm vulnerable to a takeover. Example: startups rely on venture capital, but face pressure to grow profitably before taking on too much debt. 4. Financial security ratios, Maris risk concept. Maris introduced financial ratios to determine how much risk a firm should take while growing. 1. Liquidity ratio, AWIN, liquid assets, total assets, measures a company's ability to pay short-term obligations. 2. Leverage ratio, A2, value of debts, total assets, measures how much of the company's assets are funded by debt. 3. Profit retention ratio, A3, retained profits, total profits, shows how much profit is reinvested for growth instead of paid as dividends. A high A value means the firm is taking high risks for rapid growth. A low A value means the firm is cautious and prioritizes financial stability. Example: Google reinvests a large part of its profit into R&D, ensuring long-term growth instead of paying high dividends. Key points to remember: firms balance managers' growth goals and shareholders' profit goals. Growth maximization focuses on market share and stability, while absolute growth focuses on total assets. Managerial and financial constraints limit how fast a firm can grow. Maris model uses financial ratios to measure risk and financial security. A balance between risk-taking and financial stability leads to long-term firm value maximization. Would you like a real-world business example applying Maris's theory? Managerial utility maximization, Williamson's model. Oliver Williamson's managerial utility maximization theory suggests that managers, after achieving a minimum level of profit, focus on maximizing their own utility, satisfaction, rather than maximizing the firm's profit. Instead of purely seeking higher profits, managers prioritize salary, job security, power, status, and professional recognition. Key components of managerial utility function. Williamson defines managerial utility as U equals FF, where S, staff expenditure, salaries, administrative and selling expenses. M, managerial emoluments, luxury benefits like high salaries, company cars, expense accounts, and luxurious offices. L, discretionary investment, investments made at the manager's discretion to improve firm operations and reputation. Example: a CEO may invest heavily in office renovations, high executive salaries, or luxury perks, even if it does not directly increase company profit. 2. How managers maximize their utility. Hiring more staff increases managerial influence, prestige, and power. Increasing managerial perks, luxury offices, expense accounts, and bonuses improve job satisfaction. Making discretionary investments. Managers may approve projects to increase their responsibility and visibility, even if these investments are not essential. Example: a large company like Google or Microsoft offers luxurious offices, high salaries, and employee perks not just to attract talent, but also to satisfy managerial ambitions. Benefits of managerial utility maximization: enhances job satisfaction, keeps top executives motivated and committed. Attracts talent: high salaries and perks bring skilled professionals to the company. Encourages long-term stability. Instead of risky short-term profit strategies, managers focus on sustainable firm growth. Example: Amazon invests heavily in research projects and executive perks, ensuring that top managers stay with the company long-term. 4. Criticism of Williamson's model. 1. Ignores profit maximization. Managers may focus on perks instead of increasing shareholder value. 2. Leads to excessive spending. Hiring unnecessary staff and luxury benefits increase costs. 3. Potential conflict with shareholders. Owners want higher dividends, but managers focus on their own benefits. 4. Lack of accountability. Managers may approve unnecessary investments without financial justification. Example: a struggling airline may still offer high executive bonuses, even though profits are declining. Key points to remember: managers prioritize salary, job security, and status once minimum profit is achieved. They maximize utility through staff hiring, managerial perks, and discretionary investments. This model explains why firms sometimes spend on non-essential perks despite having moderate profits. Critics argue that it leads to excessive costs and conflicts with shareholder interests. Would you like a comparison between profit maximization versus managerial utility maximization for clarity? Profit maximization versus managerial utility maximization. Basis of comparison: traditional model, managerial utility maximization, Williamson's model. Main objective: maximizing total profit, revenue, cost. Maximizing managerial benefits, salary, job security, prestige. Decision maker: shareholders, owners. Expect high returns. Managers focus on personal benefits. Use of resources: focuses on efficient resource allocation to maximize earnings. May spend on excess staff, luxury perks, and discretionary investments. Key factors considered: revenue, costs, production, pricing strategies. Salaries, perks, job security, status, power. Hiring and salaries: hires staff based on profitability needs. Hires more staff to increase power and influence. Investment decisions: invests in projects that maximize shareholder returns. Makes discretionary investments that may not directly increase profits. Impact on shareholders: higher dividends and rising stock value. May lead to lower dividends if resources are spent on managerial perks. Advertising and marketing: spends based on cost-benefit analysis. May increase advertising beyond necessity to enhance brand prestige. Conflict of interest: may conflict with shareholders if managers prioritize their own benefits. Example companies: Apple, Tesla, Reliance. Focus on profit growth. Luxury hotel chains, investment firms, high executive salaries and perks. Key takeaways: profit maximization focuses on increasing earnings, benefiting shareholders. Managerial utility maximization focuses on salaries, job security, and prestige, benefiting managers. Potential conflict: shareholders want higher profits, while managers want personal benefits. Real-world example: a company offering high executive bonuses despite low profits follows managerial utility maximization rather than profit maximization. Would you like a case study of a company following managerial utility maximization for better understanding? Satisfactory level of profits, Herbert Simon's theory. Herbert Simon's satisfactory profits theory suggests that managers do not always aim for maximum profits because they operate with limited information, uncertainty, and complex decision-making. Instead, they aim for a satisfactory level of profit that is good enough rather than perfect. 1. Why do firms aim for satisfactory profits instead of maximum profits? Limited information. Managers do not have complete knowledge about future market conditions, costs, and competition. Uncertainty in decision-making. Market conditions change frequently, making precise profit calculations difficult. Complexity of business operations. Finding the best possible decision requires time and effort, so managers settle for a practical solution instead of an ideal one. Human nature. People naturally seek convenience and tend to choose an acceptable profit level rather than continuously searching for maximum profit. Example: a supermarket sets product prices based on markup pricing, adding a fixed percentage to cost instead of complex marginal cost calculations to maximize profit. 2. How does management adjust profit aspirations? If satisfactory profit is achieved easily, management raises its goals and plans for better operations. If profit expectations are not met, management adjusts strategies to improve future performance. If no profitable alternative is available, managers may feel helpless, apathy behavior, and avoid taking major actions. Example: a restaurant owner expects a 20% profit margin, but due to economic slowdown, they accept 10% profit and focus on maintaining business stability instead of chasing higher profits. Real-world application of satisfactory profit theory. Firms use markup pricing instead of complex price optimization. Companies balance growth and risk, choosing steady expansion over aggressive profit maximization. Firms prioritize stability, employee satisfaction, and customer loyalty rather than short-term profit spikes. Example: Toyota focuses on long-term growth and quality control rather than just maximizing short-term profits like a startup. 4. Criticisms of satisfactory profit theory. 1. Limited information creates inefficiencies. Due to company hierarchy, information may not reach decision-makers correctly, leading to suboptimal decisions. 2. Difficult to measure satisfaction. Unlike salary, satisfaction is subjective and varies from person to person, making it hard to define an ideal satisfactory profit. 3. Unclear decision criteria. It is difficult to differentiate between normal market conditions and changing economic conditions, leading to ambiguity in decision-making. Example: a tech startup may fail to recognize growth opportunities because its managers are satisfied with small but stable profits. Missing chances to scale. Key points to remember. Managers aim for satisfactory profit rather than maximum profit due to limited information and uncertainty. If aspirations are achieved, the firm raises its goals. If not, it adjusts operations to improve profits. Many firms prefer simple pricing models and stable business growth over aggressive profit maximization. Criticized for being unclear, subjective, and leading to missed opportunities. Would you like a comparison between satisfactory profit versus profit maximization models for better clarity? Comparison: satisfactory profit versus profit maximization. Satisfactory profit, Simon's model. Profit maximization, traditional model. Based on satisfactory profit, main objective: achieve a reasonable profit level that is good enough. Maximize total profit, revenue cost. Decision-making approach on limited information and uncertainty. Based on detailed calculations and complete market knowledge. Use of information. Relies on available but imperfect information. Assumes perfect knowledge of costs, demand, and competition. Pricing strategy. Uses markup pricing, adding a fixed percentage to cost. Uses marginal cost pricing, finding the exact profit-maximizing price. Flexibility in goals. Can adjust aspirations based on market conditions. Rigid focus on maximizing every possible profit opportunity. Risk level, lower risk. Firms focus on stability and survival. Higher risk, firms take bold profit-maximizing steps. Market conditions. Works well in uncertain or rapidly changing markets. Suitable for stable and predictable markets. Company example, Toyota long-term steady growth and quality control. Tesla, aggressive pricing innovation for high profits. Criticism, lacks precision, hard to measure satisfaction, may lead to missed profit opportunities. Assumes perfect market knowledge, which is unrealistic. Key takeaways. Satisfactory profit model, Simon's theory. Firms aim for reasonable profit levels, adjusting strategies based on available information. Profit maximization model. Firms aim to earn the highest possible profit, assuming complete market knowledge. Satisfactory profit model is useful for stability, while profit maximization is ideal for competitive advantage. Example. A family-owned business may prioritize long-term survival, satisfactory profits, while a startup may focus on high-risk, high-reward profits. Would you like real-world case studies to better understand these concepts? Economist theory of the firm. The economist theory of the firm explains how a firm operates to maximize profits by efficiently transforming inputs, resources, into outputs, products, or services. One firm as a transformation unit. A firm uses inputs, land, labor, capital, to produce outputs, goods, services. The goal is to create surplus value, the difference between the value of the product and the cost of inputs. Key focus areas: least cost factor combination, using resources in the most cost-effective way. Production function, understanding how inputs affect output. Example, a furniture company buys wood, pays workers, and uses machines to create a table. If the table sells for $5,000, but the cost of inputs is $3,000, the surplus value is $2,000. 2. How firms maximize profits. Firms increase profit by increasing revenue, selling more products or at higher prices, reducing costs, cutting waste, using cheaper raw materials, or improving efficiency, doing both simultaneously. Example, a car manufacturer increases sales by launching a budget-friendly model while also reducing production costs by using automated machines. 3. Economic efficiency and equilibrium. Firms always aim for equilibrium, where they maximize profits. They make decisions and adjustments to stay on track. Steps to achieve equilibrium. 1. Find the profit-maximizing point, where MR equals MC. 2. Adjust operations to reach this point. 3. Take corrective measures if profits decrease. Example, a restaurant analyzes customer demand and adjusts menu prices to ensure that the extra revenue from selling one more dish equals the extra cost of making it. And 4. Condition for profit maximization, MR/MC. A firm maximizes profit when marginal revenue R equals marginal cost MC. This means the revenue gained from selling one more unit exactly equals the cost of producing that unit. For stable equilibrium, 2 conditions must be met. 1. MR equal MC. 2. MC must be rising at the point of equilibrium. Example, a bakery producing cakes should increase production if MR/MC, but should reduce production if MR/MC to avoid losses. 5. Market conditions affect firm behavior. The firm operates in different market environments. Number of competitors, monopoly versus perfect competition. Type of product, identical, homogeneous versus differentiated, heterogeneous. Market entry and exit, ease of competition in the industry. Example, a small local grocery store competes in a market with many sellers, perfect competition, while Google operates in a tech monopoly with fewer competitors. 6. Short-term versus long-term profit maximization. Short-term, firms focus on immediate profit, but might not invest in long-term growth. Long-term, firms invest in expansion, branding, and efficiency to sustain profits. Example, startups may reinvest profits in R&D instead of maximizing short-term earnings to build a strong market presence. Key points to remember. A firm transforms inputs into outputs and aims to maximize surplus value, profit. Profit maximization occurs when MR equals MC, and MC must be rising at that point. Firms operate in different market structures, affecting their pricing and production strategies. Short-term and long-term perspectives impact profit strategies and business growth. Would you like a graphical explanation of MR equals MC for better understanding? Sayert and March's behavioral theory of the firm. Sayert and March, 1963, developed the behavioral theory of the firm, expanding on Herbert Simon's model. This theory explains how large and modern firms make decisions in an uncertain market environment. It focuses on how internal factors, such as employees, departments, and goals, influence decision-making rather than just external market conditions. 1. Firm as a coalition of groups with conflicting goals. Traditional economic theories assume firms have a single goal, profit maximization. Sayert and March argue that large firms consist of multiple groups, owners, managers, employees, suppliers, customers, etc., each with different objectives. Decision-making involves balancing these conflicting interests. Example: in a company like Tesla, managers want innovation and job security. Shareholders want high profits and stock value. Employees want higher salaries and better working conditions. 2. Goal formation process and aspiration level. Each group within a firm has different demands, e.g., employees want better salaries, customers want lower prices. Goals are set based on past performance and external conditions. If goals are easily achieved, aspirations increase. If not, firms adjust their targets. Example: a company expects 10% revenue growth but only achieves 5%. Instead of shutting down, it reevaluates costs, changes strategies, and sets new targets. 3. 5 key goals of a firm. 1. Production, ensuring steady and efficient output. 2. Sales, expanding market share and revenue. 3. Market share growth, competing with rivals. 4. Inventory management, maintaining the right stock levels. 5. Profitability, achieving a reasonable profit even if not maximized. Executives balance these goals by negotiating with different stakeholders. Example: a car manufacturer must decide whether to focus on profit, high-end cars, or market share, affordable models. 4. Conflict resolution strategies in firms. Since firms cannot meet all demands with limited resources, conflicts arise. To resolve these conflicts, managers use different strategies. 1. Budget sharing, allocating limited funds across departments fairly. 2. Learning from past experience, adjusting current goals based on historical performance. 3. Activity restrictions, assigning clear responsibilities to different groups to reduce disputes. 4. Financial incentives, offering bonuses, higher wages, and perks to satisfy employees and shareholders. 5. Side payments, making compromises, e.g., offering job security in exchange for lower wages. 6. Slack payments, paying extra benefits to retain key employees and ensure stability. 7. Prioritizing demands, addressing urgent issues first before long-term goals. 8. Decentralized decision-making, giving departments authority to make decisions independently. Example: Google provides high salaries and perks to employees, ensuring they stay satisfied while the company continues growing. 5. Decision-making process in firms. Decisions are made at 2 levels: top-level decisions, major policies and strategies; lower-level decisions, day-to-day operations. Instead of analyzing all possible options, firms quickly shortlist a few good alternatives and choose the most practical one. Example: a company needs to expand. Instead of analyzing every country, it focuses on the top 5 most profitable markets and makes a decision. 6. Handling market uncertainty and competitor reactions. Firms face 2 major uncertainties. 1. Market uncertainty, changes in technology, customer preferences, and economic conditions. 2. Competitor uncertainty, unexpected actions from rivals, such as price cuts or new product launches. To manage market uncertainty, firms invest in market research and customer feedback. To handle competitor uncertainty, firms use past trends to predict competitor actions. Example: Apple constantly tracks consumer trends to anticipate demand for future iPhones. Amazon monitors competitor pricing to adjust its own prices in real time. 7. Simple model for decision-making in a duopoly market. Sayert and March explain decision-making using a duopoly model, where 2 firms dominate a market. The process includes forecasting demand, estimating costs, setting goals, and adjusting operations based on competitor behavior. Steps in the decision-making process. 1. Predict competitor reactions based on past trends. 2. Forecast own demand. Estimate future sales. 3. Estimate costs. Keep expenses under control. 4. Set business goals. Target revenue, sales, and profit. 5. Compare expected results with goals. Adjust strategy if needed. 6. Re-examine costs and reduce unnecessary expenses. Reevaluate sales strategies, advertising, promotions, etc. 8. Adjust profit aspirations if needed. If targets seem unrealistic, set achievable goals. This step-by-step approach helps firms stay competitive and stable in changing market conditions. Example: Coca-Cola and Pepsi continuously adjust marketing, pricing, and production levels based on consumer demand and competition. Criticism of Sayert and March's behavioral theory. 1. Limited case studies. The theory is based on a small number of firms, making it difficult to apply universally. 2. Ignores external market factors. Focuses more on internal conflicts rather than competition or industry trends. 3. Doesn't fully explain pricing and output decisions. Assumes firms have fixed pricing policies, which is unrealistic. 4. Assumes stability in firms. In reality, internal conflicts can cause instability, leading to inefficiency. 2. Focused on large firms. The theory may not apply well to small businesses or startups. Key points to remember. Firms are made up of multiple groups with conflicting goals: owners, managers, employees, etc. Decision-making is based on limited information, past experiences, and practical choices. Market and competitor uncertainties affect firm behavior. Companies set goals and adjust strategies to maintain stability rather than just maximize profits. Criticized for ignoring competition and assuming stable firm behavior. Would you like a comparison between this theory and traditional profit maximization models? Other theories' objectives of a firm. Besides profit maximization and sales maximization, firms also have economic and non-economic objectives. These objectives ensure long-term stability, growth, and social responsibility. 1. Economic objectives of a firm. A. Maximum growth rate. Firms aim for continuous expansion in production, market share, revenue, and brand presence. Growth ensures long-term survival and competitiveness. Example: Amazon expands by entering new markets and industries, cloud computing, grocery stores, etc., rather than just maximizing profits. B. Desire for liquidity. Firms need enough cash flow to manage day-to-day operations and handle unexpected financial crises. Liquidity helps firms invest in new opportunities without relying too much on external loans. Apple holds large cash reserves to fund new projects and acquisitions without taking on debt. 2. Non-economic objectives of a firm. Survival. Firms prioritize survival over profit, especially in highly competitive or uncertain markets. Businesses may lower prices, reduce costs, or diversify products to survive during economic downturns. Example: startups focus on survival by securing investors and cutting unnecessary expenses, even if they don't make profits initially. B. Building confidence in the product. Firms aim to gain customer trust and loyalty by delivering quality products and services. A strong brand reputation leads to long-term success. Example: Toyota ensures high product reliability, leading to strong customer trust in its cars. C. Public welfare. Some firms focus on corporate social responsibility, CSR, to contribute to society. This includes environmental protection, fair wages, and community development. Example: Tata Group invests in education, healthcare, and rural development as part of its CSR initiatives. D. Sound business practices. Firms follow ethical practices, transparency, and good governance to maintain credibility. This prevents legal issues, financial fraud, and damage to reputation. Example: Infosys maintains strong corporate governance, ensuring ethical management and financial transparency. E. Progressive management. Firms adopt new technologies, improve work culture, and train employees to stay competitive. Continuous innovation ensures long-term sustainability. Example, Google invests in AI and employee upskilling programs, ensuring future growth. Key points to remember. Firms aim for growth, liquidity, survival, and reputation beyond profit maximization. Non-economic objectives like public welfare and ethics are crucial for long-term success. A balance between profit and social responsibility helps firms remain sustainable. Would you like a comparison table between economic objectives of a firm? Economic objectives focus on the financial stability and growth of a firm. Two major economic objectives are: 1. Maximum growth rate. A firm goes through different stages in its life cycle, from startup to maturity. Growth is linked to profit generation, as firms need optimal profits to expand. Kenneth E. Boulding identified 4 stages in a firm's life cycle. A. Initial stage, startup phase. The firm introduces itself in the market. Focus on brand awareness and market entry. Profit is usually low or negative as the firm invests in marketing and infrastructure. Example, a new smartphone brand launches with aggressive promotions and discounts to attract customers. B. Growth stage. The firm is well established and now focuses on efficiency, market expansion, and higher sales. Profits start increasing steadily. Example, Tesla expanded globally, increasing its production and sales after initial success. C. Maturity stage. Competition increases, making it difficult to expand further. Demand stabilizes and profits reach their peak, but may not grow further. Example, Coca-Cola operates in a mature market with steady demand, but no rapid growth. D. Decline stage. Demand falls, competition intensifies, and profits decline. Firms exit the market or introduce new products to restart the cycle. Example, Nokia lost market share in mobile phones and had to shift to network technology. To avoid decline, firms reinvent themselves by launching new products or entering new markets. 2. Desire for liquidity. Liquidity, having enough cash to run daily operations smoothly. Professor Joel Dean emphasized that liquidity is crucial for avoiding financial crises, e.g., during economic downturns or strikes. Taking advantage of new opportunities, e.g., acquisitions, investments. Managing unexpected costs, e.g., lawsuits, supply chain disruptions. Banker's mentality. Firms fear bankruptcy and keep cash reserves to stay financially secure. Example, Apple holds billions in cash reserves to ensure financial stability and invest in new opportunities. Key points to remember. Firms go through 4 growth stages: initial, growth, maturity, and decline. To sustain growth, firms must innovate and reinvest profits into new ventures. Liquidity helps firms handle financial crises and seize business opportunities. Successful companies balance growth with financial stability. Would you like a diagram of the firm's life cycle for better understanding? Economic objectives of a firm. Non-economic objectives focus on aspects beyond profit-making that help a firm build reputation, sustain long-term growth, and contribute to society. These objectives ensure stability, employee satisfaction, customer trust, and ethical business operations. 1. Survival. Peter F. Drucker emphasized that survival is more important than profit maximization. A firm must sustain itself in the market before focusing on growth and profits. Customer trust and goodwill help firms survive in a competitive market. Example, startups like Zomato and Swiggy initially focused on survival rather than making huge profits. They built customer trust by offering reliable food delivery services, leading to long-term success. 2. Building public confidence in the product. After survival, firms focus on gaining customer trust and loyalty. This is achieved through quality products, reasonable pricing, and strong advertising. A firm that delivers value consistently earns a strong brand reputation. Example, Amul's Taste of India campaign helped build strong public trust by offering affordable, high-quality dairy products. 3. Welfare of employees and society. Firms have a social responsibility to provide fair wages, good working conditions, and employee benefits. Employee welfare programs, transportation, medical care, housing, education boost morale and productivity. Firms also contribute to society through CSR initiatives, corporate social responsibility. Example: Tata Group builds schools and hospitals for employees in rural communities as part of its CSR. Google provides free meals, gyms, and healthcare benefits to employees, ensuring well-being and motivation. 4. Sound business practices. Ethical business practices increase customer trust and brand reputation. Includes transparency, providing accurate product and pricing details. Consumer rights protection, refunds for defective products. Fair competition, no price manipulation or false advertising. Example: Amazon's easy return policy ensures customer satisfaction and trust, encouraging repeat purchases. 5. Progressive management. Firms must adapt to changes in the industry to stay competitive. Involves employee training programs to improve skills, encouraging innovation and worker involvement in decision-making. Ensures continuous growth and sustainability. Example: Infosys invests in employee training and leadership development programs, preparing its workforce for the future. Key points to remember: survival is the first priority, and profit comes after stability. Building customer confidence through quality products and fair pricing leads to long-term success. Firms have a responsibility toward employees and society, not just shareholders. Sound business practices improve reputation, while progressive management ensures continuous growth. Would you like economic versus non-economic objectives of a firm? Basis of comparison: economic objectives, non-economic objectives. Main focus: maximizing financial growth and stability, ensuring long-term survival, reputation, and social responsibility. Achieve profitability, liquidity, and market expansion. Build trust, ethical business practices, and employee welfare. Focuses on profit reinvestment and expansion. Focuses on building goodwill and customer loyalty. Survival approach: ensures financial stability through cost management and revenue growth. Ensures business stability through trust and ethical conduct. Employee benefits: higher profits may lead to better salaries and incentives. Focuses on fair wages, good working conditions, and training programs. Corporate social responsibility (CSR) may be considered only if it benefits the company financially. Actively involved in social welfare, environmental sustainability, and ethical business. Public confidence: gains confidence through financial strength and market leadership. Gains confidence through product quality, transparency, and fair practices. Market competition: competes through pricing strategies, innovation, and cost efficiency. Competes by maintaining strong brand reputation and customer satisfaction. Examples: Amazon expanding globally to increase sales and revenue. Apple holding high cash reserves for financial security. Tata Group investing in CSR programs like education and healthcare. Google providing employee-friendly policies and work-life balance. Key takeaways: economic objectives: focus on financial stability, profit, and expansion. Non-economic objectives: focus on reputation, ethics, employee welfare, and social responsibility. Successful firms balance both. They maximize profits while maintaining ethical and sustainable business practices. Example: Tesla focuses on economic growth, innovation, and sales, while also ensuring non-economic goals, sustainability, and employee well-being. Would you like a real-world case study? Concept of household. A household refers to individuals or families who consume goods and services and supply factors of production to businesses. Households are an essential part of the economy because they participate in both production and consumption activities. 1. Role of households in the economy. A. Supplying factors of production. Households provide the essential resources, also called factors of production, needed for businesses to operate. These factors include factor of production, supplied by, reward earned. Land, landowners, rent, labor, human capital, workers, employees, salaries. Capital, machinery, equipment, money. Capital owners, investors, banks, business interest. Enterprise, business leadership and risk-taking, entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs combine land, labor, and capital to create products and services while also bearing the risks of running a business. Example, a farmer supplies land to grow crops, workers provide labor, a bank provides capital loans, and a business owner, entrepreneur, organizes all resources to sell food in the market. Consuming goods and services. Households purchase and consume the goods and services produced by firms. This creates demand in the market, which encourages businesses to continue production. Example, a household buys groceries, cars, mobile phones, and internet services, supporting businesses like Reliance, Tata, Apple, and Amazon. Importance of households in the economy. Households are both suppliers and consumers. They provide resources to firms and purchase products in return. They create demand. Businesses produce goods based on household needs and preferences. They drive economic growth. More consumption leads to higher production, employment, and innovation. Example, when people buy more electric vehicles, companies like Tesla and Tata Motors invest more in production, hire more workers, and innovate new technologies. Key points to remember. Households supply factors of production, land, labor, capital, enterprise, to businesses. Households earn income, wages, rent, interest, profit in return for their resources. Households create demand by purchasing goods and services. The economy depends on household spending for business growth and job creation. Would you like a diagram explaining the interaction between households and firms in the economy? Households in the economy. Households play a crucial role in the economy by contributing as producers, consumers, taxpayers, professionals, and savers. They help in economic growth, employment generation, and revenue collection. 1. Households as producers. Many households own small businesses or self-employed ventures, producing goods and services. They act as entrepreneurs by running small-scale industries, agriculture, and family-owned businesses. Example, small grocery stores, family-owned farms, local textile businesses, and handicraft makers are examples of household-based producers. 2. Households as consumers. Households buy and use goods services produced by businesses. Their demand influences production decisions in the economy. Businesses analyze consumer preferences before producing goods. Example, increase in demand for smartphones has led companies like Samsung and Apple to produce more models. 3. Households as taxpayers. Households contribute to government revenue by paying direct taxes, income tax, wealth tax, estate duty, gift tax, indirect taxes, GST, sales tax, VAT, customs duty. These taxes fund public services like roads, healthcare, and education. Income tax paid by salaried professionals helps in building infrastructure and welfare programs. 4. Households as professionals. Professionals such as doctors, teachers, lawyers, engineers, and consultants provide essential services that boost economic development. Their work helps in improving education, healthcare, and legal systems, which raises the overall standard of living. Example, doctors in hospitals improve public health, while teachers improve literacy and skill development. NAF 5. Households as savers. The income that remains after consumption is saved in banks or invested in financial institutions. These savings are used for capital formation, investment in infrastructure, industries, and business expansion. A high savings rate leads to stronger economic stability. Example, savings in banks are used for loans, which help businesses grow and create jobs. Key points to remember. Households contribute as producers, consumers, taxpayers, professionals, and savers. Their demand influences business production. Taxes paid by households help in economic development. Savings from households provide capital for investments and business expansion. Would you like a diagram showing the role of households in the economy for better understanding? TI 1.6.1 Short Answer Type Questions. 1. What is the nature of managerial economics? 2. What is the scope of managerial economics? 3. How is managerial economics related to decision-making? 4. Explain the opportunity cost principle and the concept of scarcity. 5. What are the objectives of a business firm? 6. Discuss the profit maximization theory of the business firm. 7. What is the production possibility curve? 8. Give the assumptions of PPC. 9. Explain the shifts in the PPC. 10. State the rationale for the firm. 11. What is the concept of a household? Discuss the roles of the household in the economy. 12. Differentiate between managerial economics and economics. And #Slagrins 1.6.2. Long answer type questions. 1. What is managerial economics? Discuss the uses and limitations of managerial economics in detail. 2. Explain the relationship of managerial economics with other areas. 3. Enumerate the various roles of a managerial economist. 4. Describe the economic principles relevant to managerial decision-making. 5. Discuss the incremental and marginal principles. Differentiate between them. 6. Diagrammatically explain the production possibility curve. Describe the importance and limitations of PPC. 7. What is a firm? Discuss the roles of the firm in the economy. 8. Illustrate the different theories of business firms.